I'm in Arnprior, Ontario, 35 degrees. It is so hot. 6 weeks into my 5-month trip across Canada. It really is a dream come true, and I wouldn't have changed very much except for the 3 times I got sick. I pretty much have not had a full week of full health. My first major bout was with a really bad head cold in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. The timing was sort of good because I had to drop off Ruby, my camper van, at Pleasure Way in order to get some work done. But I already booked a hotel for a couple of nights. I was so glad that I wasn't on the road until after I got Ruby back. As soon as I started packing her up, I felt so much better just to be here because this is what I love. I was still the same amount of sick, but I was a lot happier. When you're sick, go where you're happy. The second major health issue I faced, I had actually fallen out of bed. I sleep behind here and I jumped over because I heard a noise in the middle of the night and I fell down. Horrible bruise on my arm and I cracked my rib. I didn't get it diagnosed at Emerge, but I've done this before. Leaning over this, I have osteoporosis. They get cracked really easily. It hurts to breathe. You can't lie down. If you sneeze or even go to the bathroom, it hurts so bad. So the 2 things I actually learned from that is number 1, don't chase pain. If you wait for pain to hit and then you take a painkiller, you can't really catch up to it very well because the pain has already set in and it already hurts so bad. If I take ibuprofen and acetaminophen every 3 hours, then I'm ahead of the pain and it doesn't catch me off guard and knock me right out. And the second thing is to always have sort of a backup in your camper van if something does go wrong. I had already have a winch that I thought I would try for pushing up the pop top and bringing it down in case I broke a shoulder or broke an arm or cracked a rib. I didn't use that on this trip because I just sleep back there, but the idea is the same. It's really important if you're traveling to have some sort of a backup. And actually going along with that is don't be afraid to ask for help. I've asked people for help to do everything from help me lift off my bike because I couldn't because of my rib hurt so bad. 2 guys are really willing. One helped me put it back on and one helped me get it right off. Don't be afraid to ask, especially if you're in a campground. Like then it's super easy. All you have to do is say help. People want to help and they're willing to help. You're not alone. My 3rd bout of illness was really bad gut, so bloated, so much diarrhea. We had winterized the water pump in the camper van because it was freezing for the first 3 weeks of my trip, so I couldn't use my fresh water and my tap. So you put in RV antifreeze so it doesn't freeze the line. So while I was on the Bruce Peninsula, I filled up the fresh water tank with a whole bunch of fresh lake water. It was a running spigot that locals and travelers use, and it's constantly running. Filled up the water tank with that, and then ran through the water to get out the RV antifreeze that was in the water pump. Even though it's non-toxic, you don't want to really be drinking RV antifreeze. I ran it through. The purple was all gone. It's all coming clear, so great, no problem. The next morning, I had boiled a whole bunch of water for coffee, and I kind of noticed an antifreeze smell. And I thought, well, that's probably just because it's coming up from the drain, it's leftover, blah, blah, I don't know, gotta make coffee. And actually, if I'm honest, it wasn't just a smell, but I could kind of see the water in the kettle. Kind of looked a little funny, fuzzy, fizzy. I drank, I don't know how much RV antifreeze. I had really bad guts. And with diarrhea, there's not a lot you can do. You have to let it pass. I talked to the pharmacist and he recommended Imodium, but I don't like taking Imodium because I have ulcerative colitis and then that bungs everything up. He actually did say it's probably better to try and get it out of your system as quickly as possible and not hold it up inside. It's a wonder I'm still alive. I've made it to 52 years and I even wonder how can I make it this old? Take good care of yourself because you are worth taking good care of. Mwah! My newest purchase, which I bought today when I went for my bike ride, this USB fan. Here it is plugged in. This is such a great book. Look at that cover. Isn't that beautiful? By William Kotzwinkle. He's the guy who wrote E.T. E.T. go home! Unless you'd rather travel.